and welcome back to my playthrough of World of Warcraft, the board game, using a very cool solo variant. Right now we are in round 2, even though the turn tracker shows us round 3, but this goes back to the solo variant, and I'm pretty sure we will see some actual combat anytime soon. And I think we will start with Shailara with a blade again. And the first thing she will do is to take a challenge action. So let's flip this to the inactive side. And this pretty much allows her to challenge that quest creature here. It's a blue quest or an alliance quest, so that's perfectly legal. And I guess she will invite Sandrai to this challenge here as well. This was the plan after all. Of course, she also has to spend one activation for that. And so we can start the very first phase being the attack phase. And the very first step in the attack phase is the dice pool step. Right now, Shailara is the active character. So let's build her dice pool. Start off your dice pool step. So the charge ability here says gain 1 energy. That's definitely something we will use. I think we cannot use it right away, but maybe for an upcoming combat phase or combat round. Then the Shadow Melt ability, start of the very first combat round. This is the first combat round in this combat, so we gain 1 blue die. Good start. Then we take our battle stance. This gives us a red die, so this is an active power, and it's printed on this character sheet anyway. We cannot afford to use the Heroic Strike, which is an instant power, because we need 2 energy. We only got 1, maybe at the start of the next round. The Battle Shout could be useful, but I doubt we can use it because the ghoul says characters may not reroll dice using their reroll values. Really a pity, but cannot help it. We still have our rusty sword with us, so we'll definitely use this red die here, and we have our Slark skin, which might protect us, so we would also be allowed to roll that green dice. This is not quite the end of the dice pool step because we still have to roll those dice, and some of you should know how awful I am at die rolling. So let's see what we get. We're looking for high results. This wasn't actually that bad, to be honest. I'm surprised. So those are all hits. This is unfortunately not a hit because the green ghoul has a threat value of 6. So pretty much all our dice have to show at least a 6. Doesn't really matter if it's red, green or blue die. 6 is our target, and normally would have been allowed to reroll this die here as well, but because of the special ability of the ghoul we are not doing this. But now it's time to place some tokens, and we are only allowed to place tokens of, let's say, the color of dice that were actually a success. Makes sense. Let's start with the blue die. This is definitely a success, and blue dice always go here. Blue dice are really range combat or magical bolts, something like that. Really, this could help us to take out that ghoul before he hits us back. So we place 1 here. Then we have another hit here. It's also a 6. This goes to the defense box, and the green defense die was also a hit. So this, or a match or success, which would also place into the defense slot here. And those green and this one here helps us to, let's say, avoid taking any damage from our opponent. But we are not done yet because Sandra is still with us, and she is using her demon armor. Of course, she can use it. It's an active power, so this gives her a green defense die. She will cast her Shadow Bolt. It's an instant, so she has to pay 1 energy. Shouldn't be that big of a deal for her. So let's give her a blue die. She uses her Worn Staff, and she will also use the Gravestone Scepter, which provides her another blue die. And that's pretty much her dice pool for this combat round. So let's roll those dice, and in theory we only need 1 blue success in order to take out the ghoul. Let's see what we get. Guess what? This was not enough. We cannot use our rerolls. We have a hell of a lot of rerolls, but we cannot use them against the ghoul. But yeah, so in this case only this 7 is a success, so we can use this die. So this is another defensive success, let's put it that way. Now we come to the so-called defense phase, and the very first thing you do is the ranged strike step. Here you check if you have enough damage tokens in this damage area in order to take out the ghoul. The ghoul has a health of 2, so it's clearly not enough. So we move into the damage step here, which says add the combined attack values of all creatures remaining in the combat and subtract the total number of hit tokens and armor tokens in the defense box. Good thing is the ghoul only has an attack value of 3, and we subtract our tokens in the defense box from this 3, and whatever remains we must distribute amongst the hero. If we subtract 3 from 3, that's 0, so we are not taking any hits. And last thing, we move into the resolution step. So we remove all armor tokens from this pool. We remove all of those hit tokens to the damage pool. So later on we might see some attrition. Right now we don't have any equipments or power cards that provide us any attrition. But now we have 2 points worth of damage, which now is enough to take out that ghoul with a health of 2. Hooray! So let's get rid of this awful ghoul here. Let's get rid of this quest token. We will, let's say, spawn some new creatures in a second. But first of all, let's check out the rewards. We get 7 pieces of gold, which we have to divide as evenly as possible amongst the characters. And I think Shalara was the active character, so Shalara gets 4 gold. And Sandra gets 3. That's perfectly fine. Both of the heroes now get 2 experience points, so we also have to split those. So that's 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So we are coming closer to level 2 actually. And last but not least, we are allowed to draw 2 of those triangle items, but unfortunately we are only allowed to keep 1 of those, but we get to choose which character is allowed to keep it. And those are the 2 items we just drew, and they're both really awesome, to be honest, especially for a level 1 character. They're both level 2 items, so we cannot use them right away, but nevertheless we are allowed to keep them. But again, we are not allowed to equip them. So the scimitar gives us 2 red dice to a dice pool and a reroll +1, but here we gain 3 green dice, so this would be the perfect armor for Shalara. This is now tough. No, I think I will go for dice. I love dice, so let's take as many as we can get. So let's discard the scimitar here and place the soldier's armor underneath the back token here. So again, she cannot use it right away, but she's not too far away from reaching level 2. So I think it's only a matter of 1 or 2 rounds now. Okay, then let's discard this grey card here. So we will never draw new grey cards from the deck. As of now, we only can refill our quest area with green, yellow or red quest. And I think right now we will definitely go for another green quest card. And here we see Shades of Sorrow. My wife and I were passing an old graveyard when they were attacked. I ran. Damn me, I ran. But they took my wife. She has become one of them. Please, I beg you, go there and free her spirit so she can finally rest. First of all, we have to spawn this blue independent creature into Amber Mill, and that's a Worgen. I think they're also not that easy to defeat. And the quest creature, a Wraith, goes here to North Tides Hollow. There we do have a problem because there is also an independent creature. And again, whenever you are landing in a space with an independent creature, your next action always has to be to challenge that creature. So we cannot go after this Wraith until we defeat this Naga there. But each of our characters still have 1 activation each. And I think let's stay teamed and go after those Murlocs here in Dunga Rock. So yeah, let's activate Shalara, 1, 2 spaces, and then also activate Sandra, 1, 2 spaces, and this pretty much concludes the round. We don't have to do a character management step because we cannot use the soldier's armors and there aren't any power cards in the spellbooks. Let's move the turn track 2 spaces ahead, 1 and 2. Now we passed one of those event card markers, and the first thing that we have to do now is to roll on this table here, which will spawn additional blue independent creatures. This should pretty pretty much simulate another faction spawning independent creatures through the quest card. So we roll a die of each color, okay, blue, red and green, and then we check the description here. So it's a even blue die, so we check the red die for the location. That's a 6, so it goes to Shining Strand. And then we look again on this table here. If the blue die is even, it is even, and we are at turn 4, so we will spawn a blue Murloc into Shining Strand. Right now that's not really a problem, because I think we don't have to pass this region right away and the quest is here, but sooner or later we have to take this Murloc out, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. And now we check out the event card, Spread the Plague. First thing we do is to check if there is a fate number. There is not, so Nefarian doesn't move. Okay, that's really good news. But we are still not done yet, as we also passed over this symbol here, which means the merchant deck gets another triangular item. And here we see a dull blade, which would cost us 3. We would get 1 red die to your dice pool. That's pretty much the same ability that the Rusty Sword currently has, but here we would get an additional reroll, and we can use it right away. Of course we still have to buy it first, but I think that's not too bad, to be honest. So let's put this to the merchant deck, and this pretty much concludes the round. I think I will do one more this video, and I think we will see another challenge taking place right now. This round, why not have Sandra go first? So let's use one of her activation tokens, but of course she will also invite Shalara to the challenge, and she happily agrees. Finally some action. And so we try to defeat those 2 Murlocs. They have a threat of 5, which is a bit lower. They have attack of 3, pretty much the same. The health is the same, and at the end of each reroll step, the active character must lose 1 health for each one on a red or a blue die. So this is definitely something we would try to avoid. Let's start with the dice pool step of Sunrise. So again, she will use her demon armor. She will use her shadow bolt, therefore she has to spend her last energy. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's use the Worn Staff and also use the Gravestone Scepter. Next we roll those dice. This time we are only looking for a 5. Let's see. Okay, this is a hit, this is a hit, so we will definitely keep those. And we still have 2 rerolls because of our weapon specialization and the demon armor. In theory we would get 1 reroll more because of the battle shout ability or power of Shalara, but we cannot use it anyway because you are not allowed to reroll 1 single die more than once. But still, 2 is good enough to reroll both of them. Again, we don't want to see any ones on those. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, that's a red success, not too bad, and this is unfortunately not successful. But haha, I nearly forgot the special ability of the Gravestone Scepter, and this allows me to spot 1 8, a red or a blue 8, to roll 1 additional die, but it says end of your dice pool step, so I already missed that slot, so I cannot re-roll it, but I will roll it anyway now. I forgot it, I'm totally sorry. Hopefully you're fine, but I will use that special ability. I'm not quite sure if I already forgot that during the first challenge of this video, but I will roll this die. But again, I will not be allowed to re-roll it. If I would have done it in the right order, I would have the 3rd re-roll, and then well, but cannot help it. Okay, that's a 7. Awesome, good enough. That's another hit. So let's place some tokens. Those are 2 hits for the damage box because they are more or less ranged attacks. Awesome. Then we see another hit, but this goes to the defense box, and the same would be true for this green die here. So overall that was a pretty good roll, and we are not done yet because we have still the dice pool step for Shalara with us. So she can use her Shadow Melt ability. She gets her energy, which is really awesome. She will take her battle stance, then she will use her Rusty Swords. That much is clear. Then she will go for the Slag Skin. That's also clear. And I think, should I? Yeah, there are 2 creatures. Yeah, let's activate the heroic strike for 2 energy, and this would give her an additional red die and an additional reroll. So in total she also has 2 rerolls. I think that's definitely a good starting position for her. So let's roll those dice and hope for something good. Okay, that's not good at all. So those hits are okay, so we will definitely be able to take out the Murlocs. We still have 2 rerolls, so I think I will roll those 2 because yeah, that's good enough. So let's reroll those 2 dice. Let's hope for 5 or more. Woo! Okay, this was really unfortunate because the one says we have to lose 1. No, it's only the red or the blue result. Okay, that's awesome. Unfortunately, we were not able to inflict any more defense values, but I think it's still good enough to do some serious damage and also to protect ourselves. So we put both of those red successes into our defense box. Next thing, we will check for the ranged damage. Basically, currently we have 2 damage points in the damage box, which is definitely enough to take out one of those Murlocs. Awesome. So for once, let's remove 1 miniature, but because we use those damage tokens, we have to remove them right away. Now we still have 1 monster left. That monster deals 3 points of attack. That's really not a problem because we have 4 tokens here in the defense box, so we are not getting any hits. Now we remove this defense token. We will move the remaining damage tokens from defense and attritions to the damage space. Now we check again for the health of the Murlocs, and we already know they have a health of 2, which is then also good enough to take out the second Murloc. Awesome job, girls. Really well done. Okay, now let's see what reward we get. We get 9 gold, and I think this time Sandra will get 5 gold and Shalara will get 4 gold. Both of them again get 2 experience points, which is good enough to bring them to level 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Awesome, that's really great progress. So let's level up for Shailara. She goes to level 2. This means she has now 6 health points and 2 energy points. We get those right away up to the maximum, so 2 energy and 2 additional health. That's really cool. We are also allowed to take a talent card, and I think she will go for cruelty. End of your reroll step, change the result of up to 2 separate red dice so that each dice new value is 1 number higher to a maximum value of 8. So this can be pretty useful, but of course now we really have to kind of specialize her for red dice, but she's a warrior anyway. Let's do the same for Sandrai. She now gets 1 additional health point and up to 6 energy points, which is really quite a lot. And of course we are also allowed to take a talent card, and I think she will go for the improved Shadow Bolt. When you use your Shadow Bolt, add an additional blue die to your dice pool. Awesome stuff. We are not done yet, and to be honest, I'm not sure if the order we are doing this is right, but I think as soon as we level up, we do the level up, and we just leveled up, and now we are still allowed to take 2 items this time. For the first item we have 2 picks, but for the second item we only get 1 pick, but we do them 1 at a time. So let's go for this first symbol here, and here we see the Sky Caller. Wow. And the Neophyte's Robe. Wow, the Sky Caller is awesome. That's 2 blue dice plus the Shadow Bolt. Poof, that's awesome. No, I think I will go for this Sky Caller here. So let's put it to her, or underneath her back for now. Right now she cannot equip it right away. This gets discarded, but we still get another draw for the second symbol here. And here we see a band staff. Add red die to your dice pool and a reroll +1. Ooh, that's also cool for Sandrai, to be honest. And yeah, let's give it to her as well. She might be able to equip it right at the end of this round. Awesome, that was a pretty successful round for Sandrai in respect to items at least. But we still have to draw a new quest. We take another green quest for now. Yeah, let's do 1 more green. I think that's fine. Crusade against the Crusaders. Hearthglen is the Crusades' primary stronghold in the western Plaguelands. The war-weary paladin pokes at the campfire and eyes you expectantly. If we can break them there, might be we can rid the land of the infestation and finally bring the zealots to justice. Okay, let's spawn 2 creatures. Oh, in this case, wow, we have 2 quests creatures to overcome, a green one and a red one. And yeah, they both go to Hearthglen. Wow. Which is all the way up there. And we have this, I don't know, what was it? A plague, right? A plague marker. So this could be, yeah, I think this could really something which Sandra could go for. Of course, not alone, I think. But sooner or later, we really have to start spreading out, because always sticking together really limits our capabilities. And as our heroes get stronger and stronger, I think they should be able to deal with some of those quests alone. But we are not done yet, so we still have activations left. I think Shalara will go to South Shore in order to visit the merchant during the next round, so this pretty much ends her activation. And I think Sandra will go after this quest down there. What's it called? Purgation Isle. So 1-2 spaces here. Unfortunately, we cannot make it there, but during the next round we should definitely be able to see another challenge here. Now we definitely do our character management step, or whatever it is referred to. Start with Shailara, and I think she will definitely equip her soldier's armor, so she can use all armor. Basically, this is a male armor, so she's definitely allowed that. So she just went from 1 green die to 3 green dice. This is really quite a lot. And I think Sandra will pretty much do the same. She will definitely use the bent staff, so she will replace her worn staff here, which is definitely, I think, at least a slight improvement because of this reroll. She now really has a lot of those rerolls here. And I think, should I also go for the Skycaller instead of this one, because those are 2 blue dice? Yeah, let's go for it. We would lose this ability, unfortunately, but we get an attrition, which is an auto hit basically, so I think this can never hurt. And I think I did a slight mistake in respect to this demon armor here, so I really should have placed it onto this space. Now I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, if I can move it around during my character step, or if I have to put it to the spellbook and then at the next round do it, but I will play it this way because it really doesn't matter right now. So I will put it onto this space here. If that was wrong, please let me know and I will correct that at the start of my next video. But for now I will keep it that way, because this now allows me to place another instant effect on this space here, because this space cannot take an instant. Let's progress the turn track 2 spaces ahead. Again, we see an event card, and again we have to roll for independent creatures, and this resulted in a blue ghoul being spawned into Fenris Isle space. That's a pity, but yeah, we have to take out some of those blue creatures sometime anyway. Let's draw the next event card. We have a 0, so again Nefarian doesn't move, and we have a special, let's say, explanation for this card coming from the solo rules. So we would ignore the text completely, and we would spawn 2 additional independent creatures like the table on page 2 shows. Wow, isn't that awesome? And the first guy goes here to the Airy Valley. It's another ghoul. And the second creature goes to Weeping Cave, and this time it's a Scarlet Crusader. And I just noticed something. Wow, what a bad mistake. I'm so sorry for that. The card Spread the Plague. This belongs to Kel'Thuzad. I should have really removed them out of the deck. That's the reason why it doesn't show a number, and I was really surprised, to be honest. So those tokens, they're of course out of the game, and I have to draw a replacement card for the very first card. I'm really sorry for that. So let's draw the first card for the replacement card for the first card, and this is the Bounty. And the way how this works in this game is we ignore this card entirely, choose a player's character at random and place its token on the card. As long as this card is in play, all additional blue creatures move into the same region as the marked character when they're adjacent to him or her.
Move the creature at the end of the round, starting the next round. There are 3 possibilities to discard this bounty card. The marked character dies once. Awesome. Take a town action and pay an amount of gold equal twice your level. So this would be 4. Or we would collect blue trophies worth 10 attack value. Wow, that's tough. So let's roll the die. 1, 2, 4 is Sandrai. Yeah, it's Sandrai, so we would place the token on the card. So that's pretty much her. And of course, now this shows us a value, so we still have to move Nefarian 1 space ahead. Shaul Watha. Okay, yeah, this was really unfortunate, so I will definitely put this card next to Sandrai. Then we still have to draw an additional card because of the plus. Again, we would continue drawing Goblin Zeppelin status with the character. Each character may relocate to any region containing one of their faction's flight path and no enemy characters. No, I think I don't want to do that, so I will continue to draw. And then we see another bounty card. Yeah, and I think we should then really give it to the next hero. Yeah, this is pretty much the same, but this shows also 1. So again, we have to move Nefarian 1 space closer to the bulwark. Wow, this was really a change of things. We still have to place a character token onto this card here, so I really played this way so that both of them have now a bounty, not like merchants and marauders where you can have up more of them. If another bounty card might show up, then I will definitely do it this way, but right now I will keep it as it is. And I think this is now pretty much the end of the round, finally. And now I will definitely call it a day. I really hope you are still enjoying my little playthrough of World of Warcraft. I'm really sorry for the mistake, but luckily I was able to find it. There might be other errors, and I'm pretty sure you will be able to spot them. If so, please let me know, and I will try to correct them as much as I can during the next episode. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.